Hey, how you doing?
Good to see
You too. Coming together, huh?
Yeah.
Little by little. Yep.
Slowly but surely. One shovel at a time.
Okay.
I'm going to ask people to take
So much for your attendance. We are going to go ahead and get started. I would ask that we move up under the tent and take your seat. We'll begin shortly. Thank you.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started with the program. For all you guys that don't have seats, I apologize. I've got to say this is probably the most well-attended one of these that we've had in my tenure with the city. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeff Edmonds, and I'm the Director of Engineering with the city, and what we do is manage the delivery of capital projects like this one right here. And I'm really happy to be celebrating the completion of this project, because this is the oldest one we've got. It was well underway when I came to work at the city 9 years ago. So underway, I mean, it was under design. Urban had done most of the design, and it was, of course, as you know, we had a lot of issues to wrangle on that before we could actually start construction. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us here and for this great turnout. This Don Patricio Bridge is a major enhancement to the area out here. It's going to improve transportation, navigation, water quality. I think it's going to help stimulate great things out here on the island. And that's kind of the extent of my comments. I want to introduce our mayor, Paulette Guajardo. So please give her a hand.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Well, I'll start with, let's see. These discussions were well underway 7.5 years ago when I started here with the city. So thank you and welcome everyone to this momentous occasion. First, I'd like to take a moment and recognize the elected officials who are present with us today. Let's see, we have Chrissy Romero's representing Todd Hunter's office. Councilman Roland Barrera, District 3. Councilman Dan Suckley, District 4, this very district. Councilman Michael Hunter, Councilman at Large. We have County Commissioner Brent Chesney with us. Where is he? There he is. Welcome. And we have former Councilman Greg Smith. So as your mayor, it is an honor. It's a true honor to be here today to mark a significant milestone in our city's history. It is another new day in the city of Corpus Christi, as we like to say. Today's dedication completes, what is the Don Patricio Bridge. So this bridge is not just a connection between 2 points. It's a bridge to our future. It is a symbol of commitment to progress and a tribute to the enduring legacy of Patrick F. Dunn, otherwise known as Don Patricio. So he was a descendant of Irish immigrants. Dunn significantly shaped the landscape of Corpus Christi and Padre Island through his innovative approach to cattle ranching and land stewardship, owning almost all of Padre Island by the year 1926. His dedication to the community extended beyond agriculture as he served as a Texas state legislator, and he became a key figure in our city's development. So the Don Patricio Bridge, named in his honor, is truly a testament in his lasting impact on our region. It's designed not just for today's needs, but for the future of this city. So the bridge will improve walkability on the island, of course, encouraging tourism and attract more people to both North Padre Island and the greater Corpus Christi community. So we're very grateful, I should say, to Tim Lang and Ross Bartlow for graciously allowing us to use this very area we're sitting at today for this event, which exemplifies the spirit of support and community that defines our city. So we're very happy to celebrate this new addition of infrastructure to the city of Corpus Christi, and let's remember that it's truly a symbol of our city's resilience, innovation, and dedication to enhancing the lives of all of our citizens. We're so excited. I know that, Greg and I sat 7 years ago talking about this, and everyone knows that when it comes to, projects, they take forever. As Jeff mentioned, this is our oldest one, and it is our greatest celebration right now. So thank you all for your patience, for believing in the city of Corpus Christi, because again, this isn't just a bridge. This represents so much development, and it just really represents a new day for the city of Corpus Christi. With that, I will ask Peter Zanoni, our city manager, to come forward and say a few words.
Great, thank you, Mayor, and good morning, everyone. As the mayor said, I am the city manager of the city. If I haven't met you yet, I'm Peter Zanoni, and it is a great pleasure to be here today at this commemoration of Don Patricio Bridge. I must say, when I drove up, we wanted to get here at least a few minutes before, the start time, and tremendous amount of people here, which shows the commitment to this island and really the excitement about being here today to unveil this landmark project. This project represents a significant milestone in our city's effort to enhance infrastructure and to pay tribute to the rich history that is here on the island and in the city itself. Yes, sir? So we heard some twos. So planning for this project, which is a $22 million project, the bridge is $22 million. It began 20 years ago, and it started in 2020. So walking away, we should be able to remember some of this. 2020 took 20 years, and it's $22 million investment. That's pretty tremendous. Councilman Smith and I, he reminded me, back in 2020, he and I went around some of the construction protocol and walked on the site to see the canal to make sure it was substantially complete, because the public-private agreement is the canal was to be substantially complete, and then the city would sign the notice to proceed on the bridge. So Councilman Smith reminded me of that day. It wasn't as cool as now, and there was a lot of sand when we were walking around there. But in 2020, the project began, and this is vital to Padre Island's geography and significance. This bridge will improve things we care about in the city, everybody does, to include mobility, commerce, safety. We care about safety, to water quality as well on Padre Island canals. The cost includes not just the bridge that we see in some of the initial walkway, but also a wastewater lift station that had to be replaced to fit the bridge, and some additional wastewater treatment as well. So this is, if we didn't know, and it's important to point out, this is a public-private partnership. So this isn't just the city doing this alone. The bridge was done in partnership with the private sector, Whitecap, who are now here today, IBC Bank, and Tim Lang's group on this side, where the city funded the bridge, but the waterway underneath it, the canals, and what will be beautiful commercial walkways is all being funded by the private sector. And so we at City Hall, myself and our mayor and city council, recognize the importance of partnering with the private sector. The city cannot do things alone. And we also know that the small investment the city makes is often outnumbered by the private sector. But by having those strong partnerships working together makes tremendous results such as this in the community, and many results to come in the private sector development that's going to happen at Whitecap and at Lake Padre. So the project is constructed. Another partner here to mention is TxDOT. I don't know if TxDOT's represented today. Anybody here from TxDOT? Okay, they're busy at work. So this project is, nobody raised their hand. This project is constructed on TxDOT roadway, Park Road 22, and their support and concurrence was critical to the project. Let me just talk a little bit about the project if you're not aware. I think many of us are, but just in case you're not, the project does include two bridge structures. So there's two separate bridge structures, one in the northbound and then one in the southbound lane. That was by design. There are 6 spans then in this area for not only vessels, but to also accommodate pedestrian traffic. So the bridge has 3 concrete arches. And we heard on the Blake Show and the Island Moon have covered this quite a bit, and certainly the community down here knows this. We didn't just want any run-of-the-mill bridge, right, that you would see on a particular roadway. We wanted something that looks significant, and it even looks better at night with some of the light treatment that was placed in. So there were 3 concrete arches, with the central one spanning 46 feet across the canal, allowing for boat access to Lake Padre. Elevating the roadway required thousands of feet of precast concrete retaining walls and approaches. The canal also includes, what you don't see is below the water surface, some articulated mat block, as we call it in the engineering world. to make sure scouring doesn't take place, so the canal and the bridge structure remain safe in coming months and years. There are arches on the other side of on each side of the central canal for pedestrian walkway. Those are 36 feet each, and there'll be a beautiful pedestrian-friendly boardwalk in partnership with Whitecap and Lake Padre Development that'll allow for walkability and commerce as well. So I want to extend my sincere gratitude to Anderson Columbia. They are here today. Can you all raise your hands to the right? Anderson Columbia. So Daryl representing them today, this is their work, and they are one of our lead contractors recently with a merger with one of the largest road and bridge construction firms that do work not only in Texas but also Florida. They made Corpus Christi their Texas headquarters, and we're happy with that. We're proud for that, right? We want them to do more work with the city. They're glad they've done this project, but we really need to thank them for the great work they did do on it. And also we want to thank Urban Engineering. I saw Larry Urban and Chip are here. Thank you for the design work. And of course, Jeff Edmonds, who spoke in the beginning, his team helped to make sure the project stayed on budget and on schedule and to the design specifications. So Jeff, we want to thank you and your team of inspectors for making sure this came out great. So before I conclude, let me just take us to one next thought, which is the bridge is here, but this is only the beginning for tremendous investment and improvement in this area. Looking forward, Whitecap development is coming along, a lot of work done and a lot of work to be happening. A massive investment in the city of Corpus Christi and the island here. And then of course this development on this side, on the Lake Padre side, with Tim Lang and his crew, Ross Barlow, his engineer and design consultant are here. On both sides of this canal where we stand today, in the future, in about 10 years, we expect about $2 billion worth of investment. And I'm looking at the Whitecap people and the Tim Lang people. So it's coming. Just last week, I drove down here to head to Port Aransas to go to my son's basketball tournament. They had a tournament. He's a sophomore in high school. But the tremendous growth that we see down there finally is coming here, and that should be celebrated. And so we appreciate our private sector developers for finally bringing tremendous improvement, high-class quality development here in our city. And just to remind the public, it is done in partnership with the city. And we're proud of our city council for stepping up to the plate and investing public dollars to make the private sector put in even more. So with that, it's my pleasure next to introduce Councilman Dan Suckley, who represents the region and is very familiar with the project. He and I just spoke about the next steps in the project this Monday when I met with him in a one-on-one meeting. Let's welcome up Dan Suckley, City Council District 4.
Thank you very much. Is this not one of the reasons why we live here in the Coastal Bend? 80 degrees in December. So what a great turnout. Thank you, Peter. Good morning to everybody gathered here today. What a historic day for North Padre Island and the city of Corpus as a whole as we dedicate the new Don Patricio Bridge. As a council member representing this district, I'm thrilled to witness the completion of this project. Although that I've only been on council for 10 months or so, it's nice to be here at the finish line and to see all the success and to see it completed the way it's been completed. So just brings up, it's a lifeline to this community, this bridge. It's really a keystone for, like it's already been discussed, all the development that's going to occur because of this project. This helped jumpstart significant new development here. Bridge's strategic design and location will significantly improve mobility. As you know, we're in the process of going through a mobility study right now, so this will be a part of that whole new mobility here on Padre Island, which is really going to be cool for the island residents. Pedestrian-friendly boardwalk beneath the bridge will also encourage outdoor activities, contributing to the health and well-being of our community. The project honoring Patrick Dunn reflects the city's commitment to preserving rich history while paving the way for future development. It's an honor to be a part of this momentous occasion and look forward to the positive changes that we'll continue to see in our community. I'll now invite former District 4 Council member and friend Greg Smith, to the great-grandson of Patrick F. Dunn, to speak about the dedication of the bridge and what it means to him and his family.
Well, thank you very much, Dan. I know for the family this is a great day, but it only can happen with teamwork. We've got 4 people here that are as responsible as I am for this bridge, actually 5. Mayor Guajardo, Councilman Roland Barrera, and Councilman Michael Hunter. At every point in time, at the 6 years I was on council, if they weren't right behind me, they were in front of me. So thank you all very much for the 100% of the support you gave the island. And Dan followed in my footsteps, and where I left off, he exceeded it. And like Peter said earlier, this wouldn't have happened without him. It was that hot day in June, and we, the council, said, you got to make the final decision on there. It's up to you. We don't want a bridge to nowhere. It's got to be substantially complete. So we were out there in that hot day in June, tripping over the gopher holes, going through the grass burrs on there. Substantially complete, you know, there's some range in that verb on there. Now the canals were basically done. They were dug. But, you know, the bulkheads had just a little bit to go. So, Peter, thank you very much in your vision and seeing what to do on there. Now, for the family, we kind of talked. This is the Don Patricio Bridge. But P.F. Dunn, Patrick Francis Dunn, he had many aliases. One was the Duke of Padre. And one time he got a letter from England. Now we've got to think this is back in the early 20th century, 1910, and it was some royal lord or earl or something like that. And he told his attorney it was some legal stuff with it. Sign that letter, Patrick F. Dunn, Duke of Padre Island, D.O.P. That's the kind of guy he was. On there. So that's where the name Duke of Padre Island came from. Don Patricio. Patrick Dunn was a son of immigrants on here with it. And he always knew that people were very important, no matter how high barn or low barn. His parents were Irish Catholic farmers that came over here looking for a new life. He never forgot that. So within the ranching community and things, he was the Don. Why? Because he took care of people. And then with the family on there, another name, it was Papu. So as we were growing up, and we have a lot of the family here for that. And so that's what we always heard the stories of Papu with it. Patrick Dunn was a family man on there. But as we sit here today, there's one thing I think, third time's the charm. In 1914, there was a county named after Pat Dunn County, next to Duval County on there. And the law, a couple of years later, somebody found a little law someplace that a county seat has to be 12 miles distance from the other county seat. Well, the county seat of Duval County was San Diego. The county seat of Dunn County was Benavides. Somebody measured it, 11.9 miles. That name only lasted 2 years. Then, 1927, Pat sold the land but kept the grazing rights for the island and sold it to Colonel Robertson on there. And Colonel Robertson had a vision that we're just seeing today, really, on there of making the island a great place. They built a causeway. What did they name it? The Don Patricio Causeway. Well, 1933, the storm. Oh, there's another one down the line. But with Haas Anderson, and we got Irvin, the designers here, and everything else, this bridge is going to last. Don Patricio now is going to last with it. But as we're going through here, he was an Irishman on there, full-blooded Irishman, a lot of stories. He was a politician with it, too. He served 3 terms in the legislature with it. One thing a lot of people don't know about him, they think of him as the rancher, the Duke of Padre Island or Don Patricio. He was a conservationist. And when he served in the legislature on there, that was extremely important to him. The wildfowl, keeping our area like everybody on council, and I think everybody here does. So this is an example of a bill, this is a quote taken at the time. He was the chairman of the Fish, Game, and Oyster Commission, which is now Parks and Wildlife. And there was a push by the oyster interests. They wanted to kill all the brown pelicans because they thought they were eating the oysters. And so this is a quote. Colonel Bill Sterrett, head of the Fish, Game, and Oyster Commission, and Charlie Gibson, Corpus Christi, were making war talk against the pelican and would drive the bird from the coast. Dunn's influence, however, saved the pelican and made him a lifelong friend of McLemore's. McLemore was a conservationist. This is the quote, April 5th, 1913. Colonel Bill Sterrett, Fish, Game, and Oyster Commissioner, and Mr. Gibson, the Corpus Christi Fish and Oyster shipper, didn't succeed at the last session of the legislature in putting the pelican off the face of the earth. But they will make the beauticious bird with the dainty feet a scare that will make him confine his depredations to Padre Island for many a day to come, where he will at least have a friend in the Honorable Pat Dunn, the noble Duke of Padre Island. And I know is when this bridge was coming up, we talk about the mobility. We're taking this island into the 21st century with it. We'll have golf carts under that bridge. People will be jogging, walking, kayaking, surfboard, not surf, paddle boarding, and everything else. We're going to be the star of the coast with that. But what does it do? Water exchange. We all know the island's canals. It's what shade of brown are they right now? You know, how bad is the algal bloom going on it? This is going to bring that clean, oxygenated Gulf water into those canals. All of those aerators that don't do much but drive up an electric bill will no longer be needed. That water will be going from brown in the right conditions to a green. And every time that I thought about this bridge and pushing this bridge, I was thinking of P.F. Dunn, Pat Dunn, what is it going to do for conservation following those footsteps? And then one last thing about him, again going to the Don. Pat Dunn was a big believer in education. He served 3 terms in the House. Michael's dad kind of following his footsteps, 100 years behind Todd with it. But education, extremely important to him. Poor South Texas, uneducated South Texas at that time with it. He authored the bills for the school districts of Robstown, Fremont, Agua Dulce, Bishop, Ricardo, Driscoll, Calallen, Sandia, and Port Aransas. He authored the first bill to establish what is now A&M Kingsville on there. He got it for people that know the legislature. He got it through the committees on there, both on the Senate side and the other side with it. It didn't make it to the governor's desk, but when you're working in the legislature, it's try again. In the next session, he was no longer on it. That bill passed, and today we have Texas A&M Kingsville. That was very much Patrick Dunn. And I think if he was alive today, and I know we've got 5th generation, we've got 4th generation. I wish we had 6th generation here, but they're in school right now, Flower Bluff School, and living on the island with it. But Pat would be very happy, P.F. Dunn, Papu, the Duke of Padre, with what this is going to do for the island. Taking this island, what Colonel Robertson, so many others have tried to do, but with the help of Corpus Christi, with the vision of IBC Bank, Jen, Tim, you guys, your hundreds of millions of dollars, now we will have an island community that is better than anything you're going to find in Florida, anything you're going to find in California. We're going to have mobility, transportation that doesn't exist anyplace else, and we are absolutely going to be on the map. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. So at this time, we would like to invite up Ross Partlow to say a few words.
Morning, everybody. Ross Partlow. I'm one of the partners of Lake Padre Development Company with Tim Lang. Just wanted to start out by thanking all of you for being here this morning. Appreciate it, the turnout for this momentous day. And as we know, this bridge has been in the works for many years, as Mayor Guajardo and Peter and Greg just mentioned. It seemed like it was going to just be many times just an idea and a concept, and we're happy to see it come to fruition. And with that, if it weren't for many of you here today, we wouldn't be here today. So with that, I'd like to say special thanks to City of Corpus Christi, Mayor Guajardo, Peter, City Council, staff, Nueces County commissioners, everybody that played a part in this bridge being built and being here today. We thank you for your persistence and working towards this accomplishment, and working with all the parties over the years and making this happen, and working with those parties that felt like sometimes was trying to keep it from happening. But if it weren't for your persistence, your leadership, and your resolve, we wouldn't be here today, and for that we thank you. Special thanks to Greg Smith. Your stewardship while on council will forever be felt and recognized here on Padre Island. You worked countless hours, working on this bridge and making sure that it would get built, and we thank you for that. Lastly, I just want to say we're very excited about the projects that'll be connected by this waterway and connected by this bridge. We're excited to create a place that's going to be very special, not just to this area, but to the entire Texas coast. For the residents of Padre Island, for the city, county, and everybody that will visit here. We're really excited about that. So I just want to thank you all again for being here. Thanks to all of you who had played a hand in making this happen and this bridge being built. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning, y'all. Let me see where we are here. Appreciate inviting me to come and speak. I know we've had a wonderful day. It was great to hear all the history from Greg. But I can tell you that it's probably about 5 years to the day that Tim Lang and Ross came over, but really Tim came and passionately told me why this water connection and the bridge was so important to the island. And he was right. He was absolutely right. You can see this bridge is going to be iconic. And it's for the island. It's really going to connect everybody to the Gulf of Mexico, and it will be the next enhance the community living, which we really want on the island for years to come, and that's what we've really worked hard as a team to do. Again, we want to thank Paulette and Peter and council members, Greg and Dan, and everybody else that's sitting here, Michael, and we couldn't do it without them. I can't tell you how good the team staff has been in working with them. They've really worked hard and dug it out. It's been a lot to do, and they really have stayed with it, and we really, truly appreciate it. IBC and the IBC family has been unmatched commitment and partnership with Corpus Christi and its community. We have been a strong leader and a stakeholder in Corpus Christi for the past 28 years, and our commitment is still there, and we continue to do so. When we took over the project in 2018, we had a vision of the Whitecap MPI, which we call North Padre Island, enhancing the island and attracting new visitors through this new legacy project. Since then, we have ensured that every decision, design, and construction detail of Whitecap MPI has made the ultimate reverence and respect for the national treasure that Greg was just talking about for North Padre Island. Now coupled with Lake Padre, that we are sitting here right now on the land, through the new bridge connection, we have a great economic package, and we're really excited for that. But we were talking, a lot of people have mentioned today, but for us, it's a really big deal. The water mobility and the recreation is the key to our project, Whitecap, and we feel it's a key to the community as a whole. And as you know, Texans love their water, their natural water, so we are hoping that will be reasons for more people to come to North Padre Island. So thank you very much.
Okay, so I'm batting cleanup here. So, thank everybody for coming. Again, this is the biggest crowd I've ever seen at one of these dedication ceremonies. And it's really emotional for me because, like I said, this is our oldest project, and I love scratching one off the books. So, so if somebody does want to actually go to the bridge, unfortunately the walkways, the roads, the access aren't there yet, but we do have some golf carts available, and we can take you down there, or you can walk. I'd recommend some sturdy shoes if you want to do that. That's it's worth seeing if you got a little extra time. So this time I'd like to invite the mayor and city manager and Dan, Greg, council members, Roland, Michael. We're going to have a little unveiling ceremony over here.
Thank you. Dan.
Good job. Oh, Commissioner? You want it? Sure, come on. Come on. I'm sure they were working on this while you were at the city too. Yeah.